This frame saw I was using, and the blade broke right when I was cutting one of these patterns on here. So in order to replace that, it's not so easy. Tools for Working Wood in Brooklyn sells 12-inch blades. This is an 18-inch blade. I've never come across an 18-inch blade replacement for this narrow blade. This is 3/16 of an inch. I prefer a 1/4 of an inch. This is a 1/4 of an inch, but I couldn't find a 1/4 inch blade. So the closest thing I could find is this Starrett high carbon steel bandsaw blade. So I just got whatever, it was the shortest one. 3/16 of an inch, and I needed 18 inches. So this is the old blade. You could kind of see that like true sawtooth configuration with a sharp angle at the gullet at the bottom of the tooth, compared to this. These teeth have kind of a hook in them, or a little curve at the gullet, and I think the teeth are a little bit kind of hooked. So when I use this thing, I end up needing a lot less pressure. If I put too much pressure, it just kind of gives me a jolt. But anyway, the hard part for me was dealing with this high carbon steel. You can't use regular drill bits to drill these holes into the metal. So let me show you how I did that. First thing, use a center punch to put a little divot in your blade. And then I'm using a carbide bit that's 1/16 of an inch. You can get these from Harbor Freight or online. They're not too expensive. And I'm using a Miller Falls drill, drill press, so I can go as slow as I want to make sure that that drill bit is not skating, making sure it's staying in that center punch initially. Then I could speed it up a little more. And there's the hole. And I end up needing to trim off a little bit off the end because it's not fitting into the little apparatus holding the holding the blade. You'll see that in a minute. So trimmed off a little just by bending it back and forth using some pliers. So going into the little slitted brass ferrule there, whatever you call that thing, I'm sure Bill Anderson, whoever teaches frame saws, knows the name of that component. Just use a little 1/16 of an inch nail. And now I'm doing the other side. And I'm measuring the length of the previous blade down to the millimeter, or making sure I get it exact. Because if you get it too long, you're not going to get enough tension. If you get it too short, it's going to be too tight. So just marking that. And we'll go to the center punch again. Give it a little whack. But you have to try a couple times to get it in the right spot. See, it's a little indented in a couple different spots. Back to the carbide 1/16 inch drill on the drill press. To be clear, this is a carbide bit made for a Dremel, not a drill bit per se. And I heard that you have to go really fast, but I'm finding you don't need to do that at all. Now I just need to trim off the remainder. Not too hard to do there. Doesn't really matter how much length I have. I'm really more concerned about the hole-to-hole distance. So whatever fits in there is fine. Should snap off here. And then I put it into the frame saw and tightened it. Tightened the windlass at the top. That little screw at the top that tightens the whole frame. And it works pretty well. The only thing I would say is that it sometimes catches a little bit if there's a little too much pressure. So I just had to get a little more used to it. I do like the original blade better. There's probably somebody out there that knows a better way to do this. I'd be curious to know if you've found better blades for these turning saws than just using the bandsaw blade. And the source of that, I'd be very curious to know. Thanks for watching.